Welcome back to the Ancient Ruins. Today we continue our journey through Core of Discovery, a game set in the world of Manifest Destiny, with map number 7. We are still doing the Fauna part, so we are still going out of our way to kill these Minotaur pricks. If you haven't watched any of the previous videos, you can do that after this one. I'll give you a quick rundown of how the game works, and then we're just going to jump straight into it. This isn't a games teach, just in case you're joining us. This is just a let's play because I genuinely love the game. So, the way the game works is we are going to be revealing path tokens. These little green discs are called path tokens to try and find the things we need to complete the challenges, to win the day, to eat some food, to not die. The general rules of the stick math, or the meth sudoku, is water will always be adjacent orthogonally to a stick. Food will also be adjacent diagonally to a TP. A TP will be adjacent to a skull in any direction it wants. And there is always a single... No. We learned last time that it isn't a single vine. It can be multiples. There will always be a vine at least in the same column as a rock. Now, we will discover the rocks soon enough. They are in this general area, and we'll get to why that's true in a moment. Sticks, there's always one per row and column, so if we find a stick here, there will not be a stick anywhere in these spaces, and we can use that to kind of map out the area as we uncover more tiles. Because sticks are always adjacent to water, we can kind of start doing math and so on and so forth. Mud is always adjacent to water and a rock. Rocks are all connected, so we know that there is a rock here. Again, I'll cover that in a moment. So we know that there is rocks in this general area. They are not on the edge, so we know they're not on this line, and you can't explore through them, you have to go around them. If you find a place a mushroom house symbol, you can place a shelter there for the cost, which we'll cover if we build one. We rarely do. They are useful, but we rarely find the space, to be honest. And they're always orthogonally adjacent to both food and a stick. So if we find both food and a stick in a similar location, there's a good chance we're going to find a mushroom house space as well. If you do find a TP, you can trade any one resource or water for any other resource or water. And if you find a field space, so that's the field spaces here, it doesn't cost you an explore token. You can discard that straight away, and it tells you how many forts are in the same column and row. So it doesn't tell you exactly where they are, but it gives you a hint of how many there are in the same column and row. To find a fort, there is special rules on every map. Forts, in this instance, always have adjacency with a TP and some food. So if we find a TP, if we're coming from this angle, which we're not, but if we find a TP on the left, we know that the fort is on the right next to it and the food is below it. So we can start using that to develop math. If we find a TP, we are highly likely to find a fort and food, and we can tell where it is because if the TP is above the fort, then the food's going to be to the left. If the TP is to the right of the fort, the food's going to be to the top. It goes around like that. It can rotate anytime. It can never flip. We have the approach the arch set up as always. So our first challenge is to find a stick. If we find a stick, we get some food. If we don't find a stick, we still get some food, but we lose some water. If we lose all of our water, we start with 8, but we can find more along the way. We die. We don't want to die. We must have food by the end of the day, otherwise we die. We don't want to die. We have got our same setup as always. So if you have watched the previous episode, this is going to be very similar to you. We've got Lewis. If we use Lewis, we exhaust before we explore, and we gain, if we gain any resource or water, we just gain 2 of them instead. We've got the training gear because we're on solo. We like to make it a little bit easier, and that allows us to refresh any one gear or character at any time. Compass, we explore before. No, we exhaust before explore. Apologies. If you correctly guess the terrain you're about to explore, discard that path token. And flint. Build a fire for 1 rock or 1 stick, which is super helpful on occasions. I don't know. I keep thinking that I might swap them out, but we've been using the same ones for the entire series. It might seem a little bit daft now. If you want to see some other characters and gear, let me know in the comments, and we might trade things out a little bit. Tracking guide. Exhaust after explore. Do not gain the resource or water from exploring. Discard that path token. Explore again. Getting rid of path tokens is super helpful as well because you only get a certain amount to complete the challenge that you've been set. So approach the arch. You've got 5 path tokens to find a stick. If you don't find a stick, you fail the challenge. Let's reveal the next challenges. We've got windstorm. Build a reinforced wall. We need mud, rock, and 2 water. And if we pass, we get a stick. It's not helpful unless this one requires a stick. It requires a stick. Monster tracks. To be fair, most of them require a resource and some water 9 times out of 10. There are a few that don't, but it's mainly find a resource and survive. So monster tracks is a stick, a skull, and water. Now they all have pass-fail mechanics as well. So for approach the arch, if we fail, we still get some food and water as mentioned. For windstorm, we need the mud, the rock, and 2 water. We get a stick. Otherwise, we lose 3 water, so we're basically dead at that point. And we lose 2 sticks, which should be annoying, but at this point we don't have any sticks. And we'd lose the shelter, which is highly unlikely we would have built anyway. With monster tracks, if we pass, we look at one path adjacent to an already explored path. But if it's a skull, we lose a water. So it's a free peek. We can peek at it. It doesn't say explore, it just says look. And if we fail to do monster tracks, so monster tracks is super important that we don't fail for the simple reason it's 2 water, minus 2 water, minus a destiny card, which is unlikely that we'll have at that point, but we do get a sample token. And I've thrown that one away, which is fine, because we don't want them. They just clog up your backpack and increase the chance of fatigue. Fatigue is a mechanic that is a pain in the booty, and we'll cover it if it comes up. But rest assured, it's a pain. The goal of the game is to kill the 3 pricks, which we do by finding forts to get the ability to kill them, but we need to find skulls to actually find them, and then murder happens, and we win, and it's brilliant. I love this game, and I cannot wait for the release date because more expansions are coming out, and that's more game, and more game is more good. Right, I'm just moving that because it's not tidy. All that being said, the peak of the rocks is F4, so it's alpha numerical. F4 is where the rocks are, so we know where there are some rocks, and we start in column 7. And you know what? Last time we started dead center in the middle, and we're going to do that again because we won last time. I like winning, and I don't know, maybe that's a tactic that we should follow at all times and just start directly in the middle. Okay, so good start. We get to discard the path token because we found a field, and it's telling us that there are no forts in this column or this row, which is fine because we're just looking for a stick at the moment. So we're going to carry on moving inwards, and we found some mud. Right, mud is useful because we need mud, but we also need a rock. If we get a rock, then we are good to go. Yes, that's for the second one. So basically, I don't think I've ever completed Approach the Arch properly because it seems like a waste of a stick. So we basically got 8 turns to find a mud, a rock, and 2 water. We know that there's a rock here, which means that there are likely rocks attached to it in this kind of area. It could go that way, or it could indeed come this way, but we're just going to carry on moving inwards. And we've got, oh no. Right, so we have a skull. That means we reveal a threat card, and we have our first prick. So we've got a minotaur. We place a minotaur token on the explored skull terrain. This is not a good start. I'll tell you why this is not a good start. Anytime we now explore in the column or row, for the minotaur, that's that prick there, it costs us an extra resource, and we don't want that, and we want a rock. So the only thing that we're kind of limited to this area until we kill it. We need to go around it, obviously, so we will go down. Okay, we've got a rock. So that's good, but we can't go down. So we have to go up and over. And it's going to cost us a resource. Yeah, don't like that. Don't like that at all. None of this is going to help at the moment. So we'll just go, ooh, okay, water isn't bad. Water is not bad because we're now fatigued because of water, so we can just discard a water as our get past the Minotaur, but we need to get past the Minotaur multiple times. Do we need to get past the Minotaur? Do we need to get past the Minotaur? We haven't found anything that will indicate that there is... most of the bloody map's over there. We've still got 3 turns. We've got everything that we need. We know there's a stick in this general location. So let's get we need a stick for the next one. Oh, we didn't take our skull token. Silly me, apologies. That technically should go there. It doesn't really make a difference in what order I put them in, but let's just make sure I put my skull in. Right, we do need a stick for the last one. So I think we need to go up or right. Because we know stick math, there is either going to be a stick to the left, which will be super annoying, above it, which should be okay, and to the right, which should be okay as well. I'd go to the right. Okay, so we don't need to keep the path token because we found another field, but this time it's telling us that there is a fort in this column or this row. We know there isn't one in this column, so we know that there is one in this row. I still don't want to go there just yet, or do I? Let's just carry on our little mission to explore here. We've got a stick. We do have a stick. Okay. So, at the end of this, no matter what we do, because we're fatigued with water, we're going to lose a water. So we're going to keep the stick. We're going to fail approach the arch, which costs us a water. That's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. And then we get the food. Beans. Beans. We get the food and then the water. But now we're already fatigued again. Ooh. Oh no, the monster doesn't have consequences, but we do lose another water. That's a truly, truly bad start. We need to go this way as well, which is going to be an even bigger bad start. Oh no. There's nothing we can do. We have to go through. We have found another stick, so we'll discard the stick from going through the space, but then we get a stick, so that's okay. And I'm going to just quickly put a note that could be water. Ooh, apologies. We need to get rid of most of these. That's 5 of them gone. Pop you there. So we've already completed this. Now we're just looking for a way to kill the prick. We know that there's one somewhere over here, so we're just going to carry on trudging that way. So this time we can just reveal it, and we've got the fort. Brilliant. We've got the fort. So when we get to the fort, we reveal a how to kill a prick card. And this is Mud Vines. Yeah. Mud and Vine. So I need the mud. That's not good. Here. Right. Let me think. So we've got a fort here. This could be a teepee, which should allow me to trade a thing to get the thing, but then oh no. We've got one more turn. I think we need to go down here to try and find some more mud. So let us turn this one over. Best at Games 2025. We've got some more mud. We are heavily into the fatigue zone, but it's okay because we've now finished this card here, which means that we have to spend no, we're fatigued again. So we're going to get rid of these 2, which moves everything down, but then unfortunately we do gain a stick, which I haven't been balancing this one very well. Costs us a water. We probably need to get that water, but we do need to kill this guy first. What do we need here? We've got the skull and the sticks. We've definitely completed this card straight away. It's just how we're going to survive. So, there's a couple of ways we can do this. We know that this is a rock, which means Where are my rocks? Here are my rocks. Which means that this is potentially a rock. This is potentially a rock. That's potentially a rock. And probably going a little bit overboard there, but it could be like 5 rocks together in different shapes. So it could be like that, it could be like that, it could be like that. We're just not sure, but we've got an idea that that is where rocks are. So we now know that there are no vines in this one. We knew that anyway because there's no rocks at the edge, so that's okay. So there are vines here, or there are vines here. It would take me my entire go. I don't really need a vine either. What I desperately need is nothing. At this precise moment, I don't actually need anything to continue, but I need to prep for later. So it would take 3 to have a look here to see if that's a vine, but it'd only take 1, 2 in a resource. Okay. I'm just going to retcon a thing as well. I didn't take my 2 water off from the previous card. I've just realized that this is going to cost water, and it reminded me I didn't take the water off. I just took the water off for the fatigue. So if you've already in the comments, I got you. Don't worry. So we're going to go up and hope for Best at Games 2029. I don't know when you're watching this. Next up. So, right, straight away, we're just going to kill the prick. We have, do we? Yes. Do we need that? No. We've got the mud and the vines, so we can kill the Minotaur, and that guy comes off. That makes our life much, much easier. However, we are now in a position where we might die. I really need to get water. Really. So this could be water, but at the same time, this could be water. I think we just carry on exploring elsewhere, and then we're going to peek and see which one's water. Then we'll use Lewis to get double water. So we get that by passing monster tracks, which we're about to pass, so we can just have a nosy around now. Do we want to... Do we want to just dig our way into this bit, knowing that there could be more vines? Do we need more vines? I don't know. Let's go down. Oh, right. So, I'm being an idiot. This is water. So, mud is always orthogonally adjacent to water and a rock. That's not water. That's water. So, we are going to exhaust before explore. And we're going to reveal this. It is indeed water, so we gain 2 water. That genuinely does help a lot. Now, that would go to indicate, do I want to stick currently? I don't want to stick currently, but that would go to indicate that that's a stick. Okay, so we've got high belief that that is a stick. And here begins the stick math. So we know that this isn't a stick, that's not a stick, because that's probably a stick. Well, we know that's not a stick anyway, because that's a stick there. Right. Ooh. I'm trying to do some stick math, that's why I've gone quiet. If that is indeed the stick that I think it is, that means none of these can be sticks. That means that can't be a stick. Does this help in any way, shape, or form? One of these 4 has to be a stick. If that's got to be a stick. I have no idea how that works. This is like this wacky jump into 7 conclusions thing. And this is why I love the game. Right, so we also know that a TP is somewhere near a skull. TPs are adjacent to skulls, either orthogonally or diagonally. That doesn't work here. That doesn't work here at all. So I was going to say that this had to be a TP. However, if the TP was there, that would mean that that is food, and that is not food. So that isn't a TP. Which means this or this isn't a rock, which is the most likely. Which means this is a TP or a rock? Question mark. Yes. Yes. What else does that mean, though? That means that that could be food. What, can food be diagonally? Oh, no, that can't be food. Can it be food? I don't know, unless this is a teepee. That could be a teepee, because they're diagonally adjacent to food. So that could be a teepee. However, if that's... That would mean that's the teepee. If that's the teepee and that's the food... I don't know what it means. Have I gone too deep? Have I dug too deep? We don't need a stick. I think we just carry on going this way, just to try and figure out a little bit more math. And we've got the food. Yeah, we don't really need the food yet, but it's good to have. That's fine. Right. So if the food is there, then that means that the TP is here. TP's there. Good. We know. Oh, actually, we know that a TP is there. Does that mean anything else? Yes, it does. It means one of these is a skull, and we do need another skull because we need to kill more minotaurs, but we also need more forts before we can kill more skulls. Right. We have finished. We've finished the challenge. We've finished the day. So we pop that there. We do this. We have spent a stick and a skull, so everything moves down. Thankfully, we're not fatigued, and we get rid of a water because we've remembered to get rid of the water, and we look at one path adjacent to an already explored path. If it's a skull, then we lose a water, but if it's not a skull, then we're okay. Do we want to just play it super safe and go, you know what, that we will just look at that and see what that is? Or do we want to go further afield? We can try up here, we can try... That one, did we want to... We said we wanted to check to see which was water. But now I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to check here. I'm going to have a peek. So peek... Oh, you mother! Right. So we lose a water, but it's a skull. Okay. Okay. Son of a... bitch. Right, anyway, that does mean we have completed the day. That does cost us a food. Food has gone. We survived the night. We're the best at games. At the end of the night, if there are no monsters in place, reveal a new threat card. It is another prick. Place the Minotaur token on the eastern most explored path. Okay. Let's pop you here because I want to be working at the top. That's a pain. We don't have a way to kill it as of yet, so that's super annoying. Our new challenges for the day. We flood, a stick, a rock, and 2 water. We've got a stick. We know where rocks are. We're kind of okay with that one. Landslide, a stick, a skull, and 2 water. Desperate need water, but we know where a skull is. That's okay. And a fishing pole, stick, vine, and water. All of those don't really help us in any way. I just kicked the camera. Naughty. Right, none of those actually help us in any way with the thing, because lose a fire, gain a rock. If we have a fire by the fishing pole, we gain some food. We've already got food. We are in a desperate need for sticks and water. Okay. End of the day, we do refresh these. We need to make sure that we are using these because it's just going to be super, super helpful. We know that these kind of could be vines. We can change them out. We're okay. We need a rock. So do we just go ahead and take the rock? Yes. We are going to use the compass to correctly guess the terrain we're about to explore so we get it for free. So we're going to get this one. It's going to be a rock. We knew it was. We've got the rock that we require. We don't need to keep that. And we have completed flood. However, we desperately need water. Like desperately, desperately need water. If we explore this one, we do get a destiny card. That could be useful. Let's go around. Yeah. We think this one's a stick. Do we just risk it and say it is a stick? That would put us in a fatigue position. Do we want to be in a fatigue position? We're going to spend a stick and a rock. That takes us down to stick and a rock. We're going to do it. We're going to say that this is, well, we don't have to say it. It's just we gain whatever it is twice of. We knew it was going to be stick. We've got 2 stick. Lovely jubbly. So that gives us enough stick for the rest of the challenges. We've completed all stick requirements for here. So that's good. Do we want to find anything else currently? Well, we need to look at things. So we want to get this one to get a destiny. Is that going to leave us in a bad position? We don't know. Let's find out. It's water. That's good. That is good. We need the water. It's a shame we didn't double down on that because we desperately need the water. We do get a destiny card. We are going to take the moss, which we allow us to discard to place a food token on the end of the day area. We'll be eating at the end of the day. It's just going to make our lives easier because now we've got one less thing in our backpack, which is just nice. We get to explore one more time. I think we just carry on going on the way that we're going. Wait. When was that there? Have I meant to be discarding things this whole time? Have I beansed it? Has that just cost me 2 things? I think that might just have cost me 2 things. I think I beansed it. Right. Bye-bye water. We need everything else. This is a nightmare. What are we going to do? Right, we get one more turn, and then we are in severe trouble. So we are going to get mud. Did we want mud? No, we didn't. We didn't want mud at all. We desperately need some water. So I'm just going to exhaust the medicine to get Lewis back and hope for the best that I don't continue to make stupid mistakes. Right, that has cost us a stick and a rock and 2 water, which is a nightmare. Oh no. If we had a fire, we would lose the fire. We don't have a fire, so that's okay. We need water. We need to find 2 water. Okay. Okay. Beans. I'm going to say we're going to exhaust Lewis again, and we're going to hope to hell this is water. It's vine. That doesn't help at all. We need to reveal the skull as well. But we need multiple waters. We've failed. We've died. This isn't good. I don't think there's a way out of this. There might be a way out of this. There might be a way out of this. Okay, we've got 2 reveals. We know that this is a TP. That's fine. We're going to trade a vine because we only need. Oh no, we're going to trade a mud. We're going to trade a mud for water. We're trading mud for water. That gives us a little bit better. We know that this is water. It's fine. It's not water, but it doesn't count. So that's a thing. Where else could it be? We can't explore there because it costs. Can't explore there. We can't explore there. That might not. No, that's not going to be. That's not going to be. That's not going to be. Beans. We're going to have to explore here. Oh, we just go explore there. It's fine. It's a stick. We, unfortunately, have died. That's bad. I think I just made far too many mistakes there, but I still love the game. I'm gonna watch the footage back and just figure out where and when I went wrong. But yeah, that is unfortunately the end of the episode. We get to the end of the day, we don't complete it because we don't have a skull, we don't have 2 water, so we lose 3 water and 2 resources. We've only got 2 waters, so we die. Until the next time we convene. Bye for now.